I need to do more other shows. Just because it's nice. It's nice to not have to be the one to like think of all the things that you got to talk about. It's nice to just be. That's why I always love being on Joe's show because it's like all I have to do is show up and be mostly sober.
This Tom has a funny face. He can.
I'm glad that I fall into non-creep vibe. We'll see how you're feeling at the end of it.
I used to be a musician, so I'm used to a lot of creeps. A lot of creeps.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Stand when he needs to and stretch his arms out.
Hello, my name is Jeff. You're here with me and a guest today to talk about what it is I'm going to do on Saturday, November 8th, 2025, in my 5th year of Extra Life and the 3rd annual Ghostnola Industries Cardio Souls charity variation. Guaranteed world record attempt. But first, what is Extra Life?
What is Extra Life?
What is Extra Life? Extra Life is a program of Children's Miracle Network hospitals with over 100,000 participants. Since its inception in 2008, Extra Lifers from across the globe have raised more than $132 million for local member children's hospitals. Money raised through Extra Life supports member children's hospitals, funding critical treatments or pediatric medical equipment, making sure that hospitals can provide charitable care to those in need, and specialized services not covered by insurance. The money Jeff is raising this year is going towards his local Children's Miracle Network hospital, RWJ Barnabas Health Children's Specialized Hospital in Mountainside, New Jersey. Children's Specialized Hospital, part of the Children's Health Network at RWJ Barnabas Health, is the nation's leading provider of inpatient and outpatient care for children and young adults facing unique healthcare challenges, from chronic illnesses and complex physical disabilities like brain and spinal cord injuries to a full scope of developmental, behavioral, and mental health concerns. But enough about that. What's going on in the really important thing, video games? Jeff?
Well, thank you, Max. We're here today with Francis from Hell of a Way to Dad, guest on others in the greater Bethaniverse podcasting universe.
The many shows that Nate is involved in, yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though you were supposed to be the first, you ended up being the second. But as we all know, 2 is the first prime number, so there's something there. Remember to show up.
Isn't 1 a prime number?
No, 1 is not prime.
Just for you. Inflate himself. Just like
I need to go to
Yeah.
ar15.com and ask them is 1 a prime number.
You know what? I think maybe this is the shit posting we need to start doing. Elementary.
Right, we need to have intellectual shit posting. We need to have like like the guy who is just like there's 8 days in a week on the bodybuilding forums and like the 50 pages of argument that came up with. That's too easy. We need to really stretch some brains out here.
Oh my, yeah, that is just so good. As Francis has demonstrated, he's here because he's adorkable. That's a direct quote.
I got dad vibes here.
Dad vibes. I've been told I'm spiritually dad.
You really are. Do you not have kids? I would have guessed that you do.
Do not have kids. Had the operation to not have kids. Hey guys, let's normalize talking about that. It was easier.
Hey, we can talk. We can talk about that. I got a vasectomy too.
Yeah, vasectomy. Great.
I did a whole podcast episode on it.
I'm sure I listened to it. I might have listened to it when I was recovering from mine because little pillsies.
It's yeah.
But yeah, it was probably, I'm gonna guess, the same thing. Much easier, safer, cheaper for me to do it than my wife, and I'm gonna imagine yours was a similar case.
It was right after my daughter was born, and she was like, "Look, you need to go have this done because I'm not having another baby right now. So if you want fun time, you need to go get this taken care of." And yeah, it was great. It was in and out procedure. I was uncomfortable for like a week, and then baby free, baby.
Yeah, there you go. Got to put bags of peas on my crotch, recovered on the couch watching movies. It was fantastic. It's about the high and low of it.
Yeah.
We're talking about video games, though. Unfortunately, not
Are we?
vasectomies. It's not vasectomy. Well, and charity, and okay, it can kind of come in. So we're going to get to Dark Souls, which you've heard of but never played because you don't have the time for it.
So every time I see people talk about Dark Souls and my gaming history, I was a PC gamer when I was a kid. because my parents wouldn't buy me the NES or the Sega or anything like that. Uh, but I would play old Call of Duty and stuff like that. And as I get older, and as I find that like my video gaming time at this point, like right now, the video games that I play is mostly mobile games because they take 10 to 15 minutes and I can do 10 to 15 minutes. And so a game like Dark Souls is a game that like if that came out when I was 24, I would have played the hell out of it. Because that kind of like, rolling, fighting, figuring out, the weak spots and how to do this and how to beat this character, that's a big part of video games and a big part of what I like about video games. But I know that Dark Souls doesn't have like an easy mode. And I respect that. That's fine. I'm not going to sit here and say that it should. Dark Souls should be the game that it is. That's fine. But that just, for me, I need that. If you want me to play your game, you can't say, yeah, you might spend an hour on this one level trying to get through it. I can't, I don't have the time for that. And the other thing is, say I get an hour in, I'm not going to have another hour for a week. So I'm going to forget how to play half the game between then and then. So I, Dark Souls is one of those, I watch other people play it and I watch like highlights that people put in and like, that looks really cool. It looks really badass. I really like this. But I know that I am never going to, at the moment, have time for that. Maybe 10 years from now. My kid's grown up and out and I'm not having to constantly, do the capitalist grind for money, and I have some time again. Maybe I can play Dark Souls. I'll probably just play Fallout 4 again, though.
Yeah, I mean that's easy to do. I returned back to gaming because I wanted to play New Vegas after a big gap.
Hmm.
But Dark Souls was one. Yeah, I saw people doing speed runs and all that, and I thought the same. It's like, wow, I didn't play it when it came out, and then I bought a copy. And in my early 30s, I tried to play it, and I did some of the speedrunner stuff, and I had these tools and had no idea why you want them really, and absolutely no idea what to do with them, and no idea where to go next. So I just
Hmm.
bounced off hard and stopped. And it wasn't until my later 30s that I came back to it and played it for real.
Yeah,
And
it's it's like when I watch people do the hard modes of I can't remember which Call of Duty it was. There was like a Call of Duty where one of the missions was like you're going through an airplane while it was in flight and having to shoot people. And when you did that on like the hardest difficulty, it was very much like a maze that you were having to discover with, getting shot and ducking behind and coming back out. And I watched somebody do that and it's like watching a speed run. It's like, this is really cool. But I also know that like 20 hours worth of work went into getting this video. And that's insane to me. Like, not, and I don't like, spend your time how you want. But like, I can't imagine dropping 20 hours into one level of Call of Duty to perfect it, to post it online and say, look what I did. That's, I ain't got time for that.
yeah, I'm very much a hot and fast editing, putting it in, getting it up.
Hmm.
There's planning, there's stuff, but it's usually spread out over longer periods.
Yeah.
Which is kind of because, and it gets to the next topic I got here. Let's just talk about being 40 or 50 years old. I there's a
So
rush, but there's
let
not
me
a
tell you,
rush.
let me tell you something. So my left hand the other day, I have a Great Pyrenees dog, which is 85 pounds, and she wears a harness pretty much all the time. Harness hat. She's not barking in the backyard. She's been barking for like 30 minutes. Don't know what it's about. But she was being a butthead yesterday, and I went to grab the handle that's on her back, and I grabbed the handle with just these two fingers, and she lunged while I was pulling back, and the whole just every right down into here is just aching, has been
Mm.
aching since yesterday. And I don't formally exercise. I don't go to the gym. I don't put the heavy weights up and down, but I'm very active. I do a lot of picking up and lifting other things. I have a big pile of mulch that I've been shoveling. Like I'm an active person, but like there are times, when you get into your late 30s and 40s, like when you kind of slip a little bit. Like I remember my footing missing on a stair and catching myself on the railing and my back being like, "Oh, what the fuck are you doing?" And it's like I wasn't even like dangling. I wasn't like, oh, it was just like, whoa, and I caught myself. But because of that motion and my back being like, you've literally never done that before, I'm gonna hurt for 2 days now. That's what being 40 is like.
Yeah, that's a good summary. I have the bonus that I played. I stopped before high school. That was when I got into doing music. But I played, the town sports. I played football on the line, so goodbye knees and back.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball, I was a catcher. Goodbye knees.
Yep.
Wrestling, goodbye knees. And
Good thing you never joined the army, man. We would have just ripped them right off of you.
Oh, I think I have this. We'll do this one next. Quite possibly the best. I almost joined the armed services story for you. I think I finally got
Oh,
one you're
okay.
gonna like. I swear. Okay. But yeah, so I was like 12 or 13, and apparently, so if you think about the mechanics of it, play starts football, you hit the other guy,
Mhm.
and this was as the doctor told me, you kind of wrench, when you're hitting and
Yeah.
jostling. It's very common, apparently, to break your lower back and walk it off. And this is not to say I'm tough or hard man. It's just a really common thing. If anything, it's just I'm stupid and didn't notice or stop to think about
Right.
these. And about 10 or 13 years later, I was reaching for something at work, and I've never been stabbed, but I feel like this is what a stab is like. I slipped a disc.
This is what stabbing pain feels
I
like. When the
think,
doctor says, "Is it a stabbing pain?" Ooh, that's what that
yeah,
feels like.
yeah.
Yeah.
We did the sciatica test, and he barely got my left foot up, my foot up. I was like, stop, 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 stop. And it's like, okay, you
Mhm.
definitely have sciatica. It's like, great. What do we do? It's like, well, and I was very explicit. I want all of the PT you have, and then we
Mhm.
can talk about, an operation, because as us being older guys, thinking historically, and me having personal friends, when they operate on your back, folks, you tend to become an opioid addict for the rest of your life. I didn't want that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I tell you what's been helping me. My daughter does Irish dance, and there's a Irish dance like online program that has all kinds of exercises and stretchings. And it's much easier for me to get her to do her exercises if I'm doing them with her. And so there's always an evening flexibility that we do that takes about 15 minutes, and it's taking both legs and like stretchy bands, and you stretch your leg one way for a minute, then another way, then another way. And there's also this ridiculous one where, so if you put, like, if you're standing against a wall with your back against the wall, and you take one leg and you put it so that you fold your leg up and fold the flat, like your shin and the top of your foot, up against the wall. And then you slide down and you have that leg basically bent completely over while you have your other leg. So you're like kneeling, but instead of like you're on one knee, but instead of your foot being at a 90-degree angle, it's at 180 degree. That stretch murdered me for the first like week and a half. And I am not to the flexibility point of my daughter, and I don't think I ever will be because she's 10
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she's just very stretchy. Um, but I am getting to a much better place. And I will tell you that like my knees and my back do not bother me. And I think that it's because I'm doing all of this. Like you gotta understand. And I've talked to friends of mine who are like bodybuilders and lifters, like my friend Omar, who did a lot of weightlifting and would spend like 2 hours in the gym. And he was just like, man, I just don't feel like I can do that anymore. And I was like, yeah, you're fucking 45, dude. Like you can't do that anymore. But the important thing is that to find something that you do like. And he's like, yeah, I am kind of like finding I don't like doing the heavy lifting anymore. I want to do something else or move to other things. So because you got to find something, otherwise, like you're just gonna fall apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I'm with you there. Both my wife and my wife used to be a dancer as a kid, all sorts, and I actually had an ex who did Irish dance, and both of them,
Hmm.
when they'll do stretching, like, yeah, not as flexible as I used to be. I'm like, I couldn't dream of doing that.
Right.
I will
Well,
I
you
will
just
blow that hernia that got repaired wide open
yeah.
again trying that one.
Squeeze it right on back
Yep.
out. Yeah. I have found that, like I said, the stretching, like you got to at least stretch.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, if you go and find the army's the PT, like the warm-up PT that you're supposed to do before all of the other physical training that you do. It's got like, some push-ups in it. It's got some stretching. It's got some lunges. And like sometimes I will just refer to that because it's got body squats and it's got, bend and reach and doing windmill because it's a great way to just limber yourself up so you don't become the guy who's like has to lay on the ground in the office because your back went out again. Don't find something, find 15 minutes a day because otherwise you're going to explode and not in a fun way.
Yeah, no, don't do that. So hey, this is about somebody that exploded on somebody. All right. So I think I got
we're in the after dark period here. Go ahead.
could be. I think I've got the best I almost joined the armed services thing. All right. So
Okay.
we're about the same age. You, as I recall, I know, did you, was it you and Joe that both enlisted under 18?
Yes.
Okay.
I enlisted at 17 years and 3 months.
Okay.
I got special permission from my parents who would not sign the permission slip to let me play football. But
That was,
joining the
I think they did you a kindness as someone
probably,
who
yeah.
got real messed up in just a season of football. Just,
Yeah.
All right. So, a lot of my family, both sides, in armed services, were very much as the early days of the podcast before the rebrand to What a Hell of a Way to Dad, when it was What a Hell of a Way to Die, was like, yeah, don't do it. Just don't. Anything else. Nope, anything else. A lot of, you're too smart for this. Don't do it. So after I dropped out of my 5th college, which I woke up in New Jersey and I was supposed to be in Bloomington, Indiana.
Ooh, well,
Yeah, you weren't making.
I feel like you're doing better. I've been to Bloomington and I've been to New Jersey, and if I'm gonna wake up somewhere, like at least in New Jersey, it's like, well, maybe something cool happened. You don't wake up in Bloomington, Indiana, and be like, wow, I bet I had fun. No, it's like I think am I missing a kidney? Like that's the first question.
Yeah, Coach Bob Knight was out of there at that point, so you wouldn't be able to find him anywhere. So I said, all right, maybe college is not for me. Maybe it's just not for me. And I was still like 18. So we're right at the point things have started popping off and getting hot. So I called up the Naval Recruiter office because, like, well, how bad could it be on a boat? And my cousin Maki also did the same, and he went in and got through because although the family was just like, don't do it, like, maybe this will straighten him up. He was kind of a mess. There's some stories about cousin Marky, as is befitting. So my sister intercepted the recruiter calling to get me. And I don't know the exact details of what she said to this man. Knowing my sister, I'm pretty sure it involved threatening to rip his cock off and put it inside him somewhere. There were no more phone calls.
Was it, and this was like post 9/11?
This,
like
yeah,
right
this
after
this
9/11?
this would have been, pushing into December-ish, I would say.
Yeah. See, I joined before 9/11. Like 9/11 happened while I was in basic training, so I didn't. At that point, it's like, oh, see, I thought I was just gonna wear the uniform and maybe do like a 4-month rotation in Bosnia, and now I have to go get shot at by a guy. Cool. Well, I guess I better do this for 20 years, apparently. So, but yeah, don't join the army. It's not. I. Of course, the main message is never join the army, but there have been some people I pulled aside and been like, maybe you should join the Navy. Don't join the army, but you should join the Navy. You should join the Navy and do something that you can do on the outside of the Navy because you have no prospects and you're dumb as shit. And I've told this to a couple people, and I'm like, but the Navy, the Army, the Navy, whatever, if you're going to join one, be one of those two. Don't join the Air Force because they don't do anything, and don't join the Marines because that's a cult. But on occasion, I had just been like, I don't know, maybe you do need somebody to kick your ass. You do need, go do 4 years as a computer tech specialist, get a couple of certifications, go through college. Like there is a way to game the system and come out of it okay and not have to go to war, especially now. But yeah, just in general though, they especially now though, I wouldn't fucking join the army. Oh my god.
This crazy call just digs this tune.
It just happens. Ooh, here's one that we, might have in common. This is, a recent one you brought up, kilts. So I have a situation in my office. I got a situation We don't have a formal dress code. I'm essentially IT, so I just wear denim and maybe a polo, maybe a button down, maybe a t-shirt with a sweatshirt on top of it. It gets really hot. And I asked my boss
Hmm.
early on, hey, like, can I wear shorts? Like, nice short. Like, I'll buy a pair of chino shorts and wear those just because it's hot. And I was told no because I don't like shorts. So
Okay.
I'm at the point now where I'm like, I think it might be time for tactical kilt. And I know you were talking about thinking about picking up a kilt. Is it?
I did buy a kilt.
Oh,
Uh, yes, I did. I got drunk enough to drop a chunk of money on a kilt and a belt not too long ago, and I don't wear it every day because like when you're wearing so here's the thing that I've discovered about kilts and like dudes like you and me. We don't wear dresses. We don't wear so we don't know how to operate inside of these.
hmm,
And my wife on a few occasions was just like, "What are you doing?" Like I'd be wearing it and be like, "Oh, I'm going to crouch down and grab this." She's like, "Everybody can see right up your." She's like, "You got to crouch like this with your legs together and to the side." And like, but then that crushes my balls and I got to move to the side. And she's and so and then you go to the bathroom like you got to lift it up,
yep.
or if you're going to sit on a toilet, you got to like grab it and bunch it up all around you, and so you're sitting there with like a handful of kilt and your dick. So there's just a lot of like, I would say that if you're going to get a kilt, wear it at home first and get an idea and understanding of how to move around in it. And wear black underwear. I know the thing is to free ball, but don't do that because your
No,
balls are
I'm
gonna. No,
my
we're too old for
yeah,
that.
my running compression shorts was the plan.
Exactly. And I do think also this is one of those beg forgiveness then ask permission kind of things. Like he said, no shorts, just show up in a kilt.
Oh,
And if he tells you no, then you still have a kilt though.
I'm something of a shit disturber. I don't know if you've picked that up yet. I have no
Oh,
problem.
the IT guys being shit disturbers. Yeah, I guess where I work in my business too.
I got no problem going to HR and be like, I was told a man can't wear a skirt.
Yeah. That's-
What's wrong with that? Do we have a problem
this
with
is
that?
my heritage. Look at me. Do you
I
not does this not look like a Scottish man?
I don't want to be your classic, it's like Ireland, Scotland's like going home, but yeah, there's some of that on, one side.
Yeah, it's a little
Not my
bit. Well,
father's side. That is very much,
yeah.
we know that's Italy and Albania. We know where those greasy Mediterraneans are from and why I get so shiny some days. But yeah, I'm thinking kilts. All right, I got one more before we talk about I guess my ultimate shit disturbing task. Just give me like three just of your favorite legit dad moments.
Oh man. Let's see. I would say kind of maybe the like as I mentioned, my daughter does Irish dance. Seeing her like finally get it because I've talked about it on my show. My daughter is ADHD and she is on the spectrum. So, and she's very smart, she's very bright, but obviously there are difficulties that we have to learn how to overcome. And seeing that happen and know it, like a lot of it is, some of it is me, a lot of it is my wife, because she's spends the most time with our daughter. But during a lot of this, like seeing the struggles and seeing you know the problems, and I talked to one of her teachers yesterday, and because she was having issues, she's learning a new dance, and she got confused, and rather than say, oh, I'm confused, can we go back, she her has a meltdown. And talking to the teacher, I as the parent just like, am I a bad parent, is this what's going on? Of course it's nothing, it is what it is. She's been dancing there for 7 years, they all know who she is. And having the teachers just be like, she is so great, she's so awesome, she's got a lot of really great progress that's been happening. And they're just like, we're just worried that she is feeling, she's got a competition this weekend, so she's feeling jitters from that. And so like, seeing my daughter do really well in dance, and then also kind of getting that like feedback from the teachers is like, oh, okay, we are doing this correctly. Because when you have a kid, especially when your kid is this age, the pre-puberty time, it's very hard, they're testing a lot of boundaries. And at a certain point you start thinking, all the decisions that I thought were the right decisions to make Were they in fact the most incorrect things that we could have ever done, and now we fucked this up completely? And as if you are out there and if you are a parent and you have a child that is maybe 10 or younger, it's not that, I promise you. Like, the things that you can't do is you can't hit your kids, you can't emotionally abuse them, don't physically abuse them, give them love and support and try to work best with them and don't scream at them, even if they're screaming at you. And that kid's going to grow up to be perfectly fine. It never looks like it in the moment, I will say that. But I have met lots of people who are like, "Yeah, I was that exact same way," and I was like, "Oh, you're normal though." They're like, "Yeah, you get through puberty and like your brain fully develops and you start to learn how to do these things." So, I guess just having that kind of like weight off of the shoulders of making sure that we're not complete fuck ups. Um, let's see what other dad moments. I think I always like being the one, like I'm very handy around the house. So when my daughter comes and wants to help, like I'll be replacing an outlet and I'll let her screw the panel on. So she does. It's always nice to get her involved into things. Sometimes she just wants to like read her book and ignore me. But there are times when I'm doing something, she's like, "This is really cool. Is there anything that I can do?" And bringing her into that, because also, your kids, like when a child is like 1, they think everything you do is hilarious because they're 1. They think any like noise is funny. They're going to make noises back at you. But once you hit 10, actually really when you hit 5 and beyond, they start having their own opinions about shit and they want to like do their own things. They want to read their own books. They want to watch their own movies. They don't want to watch your movie. I want to watch this. I want to do that. And things that they want to watch are god awful and terrible. And it sucks, but uh, in the end of it, though, you're gonna come out with a normal person. I promise you. Mostly normal, online normal. I mean, you see what we have to compare to. So I guess normal is a state of how you believe it is.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, let's talk about something that's, I guess, abnormal. All right. So I've got a quote. I got a quote here from a fellow podcaster, an
Mm-hmm.
actor. I don't believe married to, but at least engaged to a literal clown, somebody who went to train like properly clowning, like the seriousness
Mm-hmm.
where you have the persona
Sure.
and you paint your face on the egg, so that's yours forever. Miss Stevie Matos, who was describing Takeshi's Castle. I have used it to describe teaching, and I'm going to use it now to describe what I'm going to explain to you in a few moments. All right, here we go.
Okay.
You're going to get fucked up today. You're going to work for that money.
And what
So,
is this a quote from?
Uh, this is a quote from Miss Stevie Matos.
Okay.
She was describing Takeshi's Castle, if you remember that from the old Spike TV Most Extreme Challenge. It was originally called Takeshi's Castle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
MXC. Yeah.
There you
Got
go.
it.
You
Okay.
got okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm using that to describe this, which is Cardio Souls, or how I decided to spend one day a year physically assaulting my own body in the name of charity while playing a video game using cardiovascular exercise equipment.
Okay. So you have smart shoes? Is that what we got here? Cardio Souls?
Cardio Souls. No, I don't have smart shoes. It's a rather low tech affair.
Okay. How does this work?
Ah, that's good because I have the rules on the next card.
Okay.
Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, I'm not above, debasing myself for charity.
Sure.
There used to be 2 of these civil defense all-purpose survival biscuits. I might have eaten one to see. Let me phrase that. I might have taken one bite of one to see if I could do it. This is from like
Mm-hmm.
1960 something, and I very quickly
Sure.
spit it out. It was not a good idea. Everybody told me it's not a good idea. My wife has a video somewhere. If I can find it, I'll insert it right here. I did, however, put it in my sister's art studio because they just look like graham crackers. If anybody's never seen these before, and I got a series of text messages about what an ass I am for doing that. So it paid off. But I have this one as a reminder that there are some ideas you should not follow through with. But here's some guidelines to keep me on the rails while I follow through with something else that's not much smarter, but a little bit. All right. I got to use a stair stepper while I'm playing. Asterisks.
Okay.
Already have an asterisk. Rule 1. So the first year I did this, I didn't quite have the video situation set up, but I had the peanut gallery behind me commenting and, explaining what was going on. I still have that stair stepper. It made it all the way through. As you might know, heat and friction cause bad things to happen. So there's Teflon washers that kind of keep
Mhm.
things spaced out. It got so hot that one of them just ground itself to death.
Oh wow.
But it still
All right.
steps. But it still steps. It still steps. I still have that one. I use that though to think perhaps I should find some heavier duty ones. And I went through 2 of those where each time it got so hot, much like the Challenger, the O-rings blew. And in the cylinders, the fluid came out, and that wasn't so good. So I now have the brand I use now, which I am defending as heavy duty because nowhere on the manufacturer's website, the instructional PDFs, or the Amazon site does it say only use for 15 minutes. So I feel like,
Okay.
yeah, I feel more than 15 minutes is fine.
Maybe what we need is like every hour your wife comes in with a hose and like just hoses it down to cool it, or like we can, like something keep like an active water cooler. You're in a basement,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah, we
just
have.
got a drain in the hole.
I don't need water when I have 2
Okay.
120 millimeter computer fans blowing air on it because my engineering friend, after I blew the 2 subsequent ones, said, why don't you just try passive cooling or
Yeah.
active
You
cooling? Just get a
gotta.
fan. Just get a
Yeah.
fan. And that does work. That's kept it going. But I was
All right.
concerned for last year.
I think that like is still within the spirit of it.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, this is we add new stuff every time. It's a living document, much like the Constitution, I guess. Anyway, number 2.
And it breaks every year. Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. I'm allowed to rest during cutscenes. There's not a lot of cutscenes in Dark Souls. There's a fair number of them. Couple of problems. I kind of get a rhythm going and then forget to stop. I get to the point I just want this game to be done, and I either mash through it so I don't have it, or it's like Forrest Gump and I need the peanut gallery who sits behind me to tell me stop. They're
Somebody. Yeah.
emotional and physical support spotters, basically.
Again, your wife with a hose.
Yeah. Third one, all glitches are valid. If you've seen a Dark Souls run, you've seen the glitches. Just where we're respecting the game as much as the game respects us, which is, a little bit, just enough. Okay, here's the big one. When I defeat a boss, there is a user-submitted donation-based beverage queue, which I then must select from and immediately consume. So,
Do you get to choose what gets voted on though, right?
I have a whole list of things, and don't worry, I have these selections right here. Look at that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we'll get to
Don't worry,
those.
I got things that. When are you doing this? What date does this start?
Saturday, November 8th.
November 8th. All right.
Yeah, we got some time.
I'm sure we can get a bottle of Malort out to you.
You're gonna feel so stupid in a minute.
You've got Malort on there, don't you? Good.
Of course I've got Malort. All right.
You got to get the pumpkin spice Malort though.
I don't have that. That might be it. That might be the
Yeah.
one. But yeah, the drinks, it could be a Gatorade. It could be a water. It's been just one Pepsi. It's usually booze. It's usually booze.
Yeah.
It's usually
You
booze.
don't have to put that in the rotation though. Like Malort can be all right. It's 4 hours in now we can do the beer, but we're gonna do which bottle of Fiji water should I drink first?
It's
I'm just saying, game this. It's your system. You can game it the way that you want. So like that first couple of breaks, the vote on it's just like, do I have this bottle of Dasani, Aquafina, or Fiji? And then you can when you really are starting to feel it, and you're like, I need a mind-numbing agent. Now we got Malort.
See, you're reading my mind here. We're doing the Great
right.
Karnak because Rule 5 is the divine right of Midge. At any point, my wife can and will alter any of these rules or add new ones for the safety and well-being of myself and those around me.
That's good. It's good you got a safe word.
Yep.
And your safe word is your wife just being like, "Oh my God, look at you! Stop it."
What do you? Yeah, it's a lot's like, I have to live with you. You can't do this. This is my house too. But it's very
Midge.
supportive and constructive, and it's for the kids.
Midge, we gotta get yourself a super soaker. That's all you need. Just super soaker down there. And when you start, when like I'm just saying, there should be like a warning system. Like super soakers, you gotta pump them. So
Mm-hmm.
like when she's like, all right, 5 minute warning, and just starts pumping it. So it's like, oh, I better find a way to detach myself from my hyper focus here. Otherwise, she's gonna spray me in the face with. And I'm gonna say it shouldn't just be water. It should add a
Something
little
else.
spice in there of some kind. So.
I mean, I don't like the idea of getting blasted with a super soaker, but I like it better than Liam, who was insisting that I drink dip spit.
No, gross.
Yeah, I
No,
said no. Which,
don't.
again, she's like, no, it can't be something that will make you throw up. That was a
Yeah, that's.
very fair rules. I have to live with you. It can't make you throw up. I don't
It
care what.
has to be something. It has to be something that is meant to be consumed.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
that's. Yeah, don't do. Ugh, because I've done that before by accident.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Well, this is painful, and let's talk about pain mode. All right. So last year I hit a milestone, and I said I will do pain mode. Pain mode was I will strap weight to my body. I had weighted gloves, 1 pound a pop. I had ankle weights, 5 pounds a pop, and I had a weighted vest. There was 10 bricks, each 30 pounds. So I would have
Okay.
been like 42 pounds to start this sucker off, extra. Um, People said, "Hey, you're probably going to hurt yourself," because that was where I
Yep.
snapped that weld. I did a
Yep.
practice stream of that, and I wasn't wearing white clothes, but I might as well have been with how transparent everything was afterwards. So one of my friends donated because I put in the incentive because everybody was worried. I said, "All right, donate the nice number, $69, and I'll take some weight off." So smartly, we all agreed we take the ankle weights off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about 185 pounds right now, so that was not an unreasonable chunk of my body proportionally that I had on there, but still, that 32 sucked. That was not fun.
It's look, man. There's a reason why so many soldiers have lower back problems,
Yeah,
and it's that body armor. Like you're describing wearing body armor. You're at
yeah,
this point doing a ruck march, and that fucks people up real
yeah.
bad.
Well, the saving grace was every time I beat a boss, I got to take weight out.
Okay.
So there's that, but then as I just said before, every time I beat a boss, I got to take a drink. So now
Mm-hmm.
now we're in the bad calculus right here. It's
Right. Well, if you drop 1 pound and you drink 12 ounces, how much weight are you really losing there?
Back again, and
You can beat that game in 2 hours, huh?
251.43 is where I'm at.
It's about 3 hours. All right. All right.
And there's lots of room to cut this down. That said, this is for the enjoyment and amusement of others, and so Dark Souls is linear-ish. You can go off and do wild, but one of the milestones I hit, unfortunately, it's called Convoluted Souls. So being a
Mm.
spreadsheet guy, I made up a spreadsheet that uses logic because I'm a math guy, and based off the bosses that you could potentially get to, it will randomly generate a number which tells you what boss you must go to, and then you defeat that one, and it keeps going until you get to the end of the game. So I have no idea what order I'm going or who I've got to fight. It could take a long time, which is why I figured I might as well get fast.
So you can, in essence, in this game, like go and fight a middle boss before you fight any first bosses.
Yep.
Okay.
There's a skip you can do to they call it the Sen's Gate skip, Francis. You're supposed to fight 2 bosses, and you ring a bell after each boss, and there's a big gate that opens up, and that takes you to the second chunk of the game. You can do some chicanery. Again, all glitches valid to just go through the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the thing. Have you played or at least seen the original Resident Evil games from way back when?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
played Resident Evil.
So
Yeah.
tank controls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the game moves from your normal left stick controlling, like if you're playing any modern game, to tank controls. It's locked in top-down perspective, and it's tank controls, and it is a fresh hell.
What? So now it's like Grand Theft Auto, like the original
Yep.
top-down Resident Evil. I've never played that version of it.
Yeah, you trick the game into thinking you have died, but you have not.
Uh-huh. Okay.
It's a little glitch. And then everything is still active, but because the game thinks you're dead, it won't load data in. So you do it in
Mhm.
a specific area, and then you have to run into an area and downstairs and then through a bridge, which thankfully has railings, because Dark Souls is very big on, okay, you want to walk off the ledge, go for it, have fun, see what happens.
Right.
And then the gate's not loaded, so you get in there, and then when you quit to the menu and load back in, congrats, you're inside. The gate is still down though, so
Okay.
yeah. I don't think I included that one in there. I figured let's just pad it out a bit. There are incentives too for Jeff. I don't care what the order is, go fight this boss. So if people want to make me have a really bad time, they can do that.
Sure.
And part of the bad time is the drinks. So we talked about Malort. Malort's in here. I have a list. I have a selection. So this is last year's selection of what the beverages were. You can notice as we get towards the end, there's some blank spots because even the peanut gallery was a little wild. Also, it goes up to 21. So we did almost a full game clear of bosses in that 8 hours. So we did start off nice, if I may read you this list of drinks.
Sure.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay, so first one is a little cocktail I used to drink when I lived in Maine. I used to call it the Hateful Highball. If you want to make this, you can do 2 parts grapefruit juice, 2 parts orange juice, 1 parts whiskey.
That's your right after brushing your teeth drink.
Or before, or in the middle of the day. I mean, Maine's a drinking state. And also somebody donated, they said, drink a Gatorade. So I started off hydrating. That was good, yeah. Then number 2, my wife had to make a cocktail. She used an Oreo Pepsi, peanut butter whiskey, and some Nutter Butters.
Where are you getting it? Like, do you just have a whole bunch of like weird booze in your basement?
We go to the World Market, which has a fine selection of weird stuff. And then in that same plaza we go to is a liquor store warehouse location.
Gotcha. Okay. So you got a good location for weird drinks.
Yes. And we have friends that like the Malort that started as a holiday gift exchange. Somebody just sent it to me. We have a Malort Christmas ornament. But joke's on them. I like Malort because when I was around 19, 20, I said, I'm going to get healthy. And getting healthy was not based in reality. It was that you should drink grapefruit juice. I bought the concept.
It's like when I was really heavily drinking, I was like, well, see, I'm mixing my vodka with cranberry juice, so it's good for me. Like, that's a thing an addict says.
Yeah. I was drinking the concentrate and I wasn't diluting it, so I was making some Simpsons lemon tree faces.
Yeah.
But that kind of set me up to be like, Malort's all right. I like Malort. I'll drink Malort. Why not?
I mean, I think all liquor drank straight is kind of gross. The only real I drink IPAs. The only whiskey that I drink that I like is the stuff that tastes like you're face down in a peat bog.
Yep.
Like just full of peaty, and like I just like if it doesn't taste like literal dirt, that's the only thing I'll drink. I'll shoot vodka too, but like I don't know, it's like none of it's good. Like let's not pretend that like, oh, I'm gonna sip on this Malort, which is so gross, but like this, I don't know, the sipping Bacardi is not that much better.
About time too, and this time he's in the mood.
Okay, Malort number 1. This is good for you. So my wife is skilled in many of the baking arts, and one of them that's not quite baking but similar, the field of cookery, loves to do Jell-O, great at Jell-O, and loves making a Jell-O shot. So we have a mold of a peep that's enormous, and she mixed in some grapefruit Jell-O with Malort to make the Malort Jell-O peep. When it came out, it looked like a raw chicken breast.
Was it pink?
Yeah, it was a little pink.
Little pink. Like what flavor Jell-O was she using?
Grapefruit.
So grapefruit and
Malort. Fairly
gotta hit it with a little bit. Yeah, I just feel like, as you said, the raw chicken, like it might be one of those things just to make it more appealing, hit it with a little red food dye and mix that in there too, just to kind of give it a less of a, I'm eating a raw chicken. I mean, again, it's not going to matter after you're halfway through it because it sounds disgusting. I'm very excited for you.
It was the first time we made it, so I think it just came out like that. And we're like, that's hilarious.
Okay.
Go with it. Yeah. Oh, Thor Jensen, creator of this shirt and others, and friend of mine for decades. He had an incentive where I would call him and say, "All right, give me a drink," and he said, "You're gonna drink the smoker's cough." The smoker's cough is a Jaeger shot with some mayo in it.
What? What's wrong with your friends? Like, if you called me and you're like, Francis, I need you to invent like an army shot for me,
Yeah.
and I would be like, cool, that's real simple. It's go and buy the cheapest bottle of booze that you can find and drink it straight from the bottle, which is like, of course, that I feel like that goes along with like, the theme that you're going for.
Yeah.
Is just, grab a plastic handle of booze, you drink it as long as you can until you go, and then you're done. Very simple game. And then you got these friends of yours who are looking at their bottles of booze and opening their refrigerators and being like, what if you put sriracha and brandy? What if you did that? And the thing is that nobody's done that before because it's a terrible idea. I don't know. Your friends seem weird. They seem to not love you.
Yeah, it's a East Coasty love, I suppose. Thor,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
example, back in my younger days of going to bars, we'll read into that what we want. Thor would order for me. He would order for the table because he was a generous guy, but I would always get a whiskey sour, and he would always ask for extra maraschino cherries, which is why to this day I will say it is a girl drink, not an old man drink.
Uh, yeah, I'm still fucked up about this mayonnaise shot though of your buddies here. It's like this. That guy needs therapy too.
He goes, he's on it.
All right.
I also got to
Well,
wash a Gatorade down afterwards, so it was
okay.
well prepped. Now we did hit an incentive there too, so I'm not the only one that suffers. You can also donate to make the Peanut Gallery drink as well. So we had the Wheel of the Worst Drinks, where we spin and there's various strange cocktails from the various cookbooks my wife had. And here's what they had to drink while I was doing the smoker's cough. Tequila Mockingbird, which is 1 parts tequila, 1 dash hot sauce, and you eat a baby gherkin as a chaser.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Sounds fine.
Do I get to choose the hot sauce? Because there's some stuff out there that's
Yeah, we had our selection.
Yeah, like you can't have one of those like the burning anus ones. Just give me the Cholula. We're fine.
Yeah, exactly. We had another Coach McGurk drink, which he called another drink.
Okay.
You're going to fill a glass with ice. You're going to put in a shot of whiskey. You're going to get a teaspoon of Chinese hot mustard. You're going to garnish it with a pimento and a parsley, and then fill the glass with oat milk. This was the first drink my wife said, you have to change this. I had it in a prior year. It's actually really good. The spicy hot mustard is very nice. It's very nice.
I'm a spicy mustard guy. I'd fuck with that one.
It makes,
and I like oat milk too. So
yeah, because it was just milk, and she said, if you drink this, you will throw up. You can't do that. It has to be something that is not going to immediately curdle. So there's like nut milk, just any not dairy milk.
Non-dairy milk, yeah.
It's fine.
Oat milk's a good one to go. I can't drink regular milk anyway, so.
He'll make you smile.
So in this house, the flavor must be drank from the Bogner Memorial Cup. If you do not remember Rick Bogner, Rick Bogner is not dead, but we still need to remember him. That was the guy that played fake Razor Ramon for a little bit in WWF.
Okay, gotcha.
And we just respect, So into the Bogner Memorial Cup, you're going to take some Gatorade Lime Cucumber and top that off with Mike's Heart of Cranberry. So about half and half.
What was the first part?
Gatorade Lime Cucumber.
That's a Gatorade flavor?
Yes, sir.
I could fuck with that. I think I could fuck with that.
It is a confusing.
Cucumber's good. Cucumber's good in water. I like a good cucumber water, and adding a little bit of all right.
It's as they explain, like there's something I'm tasting. I don't know what it is. There is taste. It has flavor.
It doesn't sound like it was made by a sadist, correct?
Yeah.
Like it at least, yeah.
It's there's a little booze in there, but like it's not offending you, which is good for that.
When places do, but gremlins beware.
The Ilion special from another great Canadian friend, a Malert pickleback.
Okay. I guess that's really the only way you can do that.
Yep. I do have issues with pickles, like cucumber based pickles. Kimchi doesn't count, ginger, that's fine. My latchkey kid snack, like K through 5, was here's a jar of pickles. So I've eaten all the pickles I need to eat.
Fair.
Yeah. Yep. I was gonna do the pickle first and then wash my mouth out with the malort.
With the Lord.
But I said, you know what? No, no. People donated for it. They paid for it. I'm gonna give them what they want, and it was very sweet. It was so sweet because it was from a jar of baby gherkins. It was rough. We had another mystery beer roulette, and I got a Voodoo Ranger, which I normally love. I love a Voodoo Ranger. I went back to the tape, and I was very angry about it because just with all of these other flavors in my mouth, I couldn't tell what it was. I just knew it was like very strong, and I was very cranky. Also, it was probably hour 5 at that point that I had to pound a Voodoo Ranger. Yeah.
God. Yeah, like you can't. That's the other thing I like about an IPA is that I don't feel a need to drink it very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Jeff, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You're too old to be doing this. I mean, shout out to you doing it, I guess. But like everything you're describing is like if a 23-year-old was telling me they were doing this, I'd still tell them not to do it. But I'd be like, well, I mean, at least I'm not gonna watch this guy die on camera. But I mean, maybe that's why people are like, I'll give $10 to watch Jeff die on camera.
There you go.
Sword of Damocles, man.
I'm-
We've got it. We're ready for it.
We hit $10,000 lifetime raise this year. There's interest in it. I guess this is what I can do.
Finally, he's here for you. It's the last member.
And we finished it off. The incentive was when I beat the final boss, I'm going to Stone Cold Steve Austin 2 Stone Cold Steve Austin beers.
What did he drink? He drank.
He drank the Steve Weisers, but he has his own line, the Stone Cold IPAs
okay,
and Stone
okay.
Cold Lagers. I had 2 Stone Cold Lagers. At that point, I was so exhausted because we're at 8 hours. And it's like, I don't have it in me. And thankfully, one of my old roommates was like, I got you. So we did a cheers and we each drank 1. So 2 of them were glugged, which I feel is in the spirit enough.
It's fun. Again, nobody wants to watch you die.
Yeah.
Like, not really. So don't die.
No, I'm not trying to. So I mean, we then got into one of my final points of concerns.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 40 or 50 years old. As we kind of talked about, like the really bad drinking days. It's not every day. It's once a year. Once a year, I say, all right, I'm gonna take all these bullets for the kids.
Well, this is the problem though. It's like being like, all right, once a year I'm gonna run a marathon. Like, you got to run marathons before you run a marathon, right? Like, so I'm curious, like, as somebody who doesn't get shit, you're not getting shit faced on a regular basis, and then you're like, all right, well, I'm gonna drink like 8 of the worst drinks ever concocted. But it sounds like in the beginning you were doing a lot of drinking, but in the end a lot of things were getting passed off. So, and you were getting more food and you were getting more Gatorade. I like this is the good thing is that I assume that your audience, much like my audience, is very politically left leaning, and that makes us not as big of assholes.
Let me just hit the there we go. Absolutely. We
There
have
we
the
go.
button. Have the button. There you go.
Right. So it's always funny to be like, oh, this guy's gonna do some stuff to like hurt himself, and it's kind of funny because he's having some booze and he's drinking mayonnaise or whatever. But at a certain point, it's like, okay, buddy, but yeah, here, have some Gatorade, have some water. What I'm gonna do for you, what I wish I could do for you is we have a wheel, and then it lands on 7-layer salad, and you have to eat a 7-layer salad while you have to pound. I'm gonna give you a big glass bowl. And you're ready for it because one of those layers is mayonnaise, and another layer is peas, and another layer is mashed potatoes. Or maybe instead of pounding it, we're gonna have to give you like one of those, just one spoonful, but it's gonna be a big fuck off like serving spoon.
Yeah.
You have to scoop it, and then your wife will hold it, and you will eat off of that big spoon. And also, look, that you're gonna need big spoon fooding, and you're gonna need. One of the drinks is your wife. The only water you can drink is what your wife sprays in your mouth from a super soaker.
It's in many ways, I feel, aside from the overall charitable intentions, just experiment in the humanity of others. Because when it is, take a drink, you don't have to tell me to drink beer. You don't have to tell me to drink a fountain. You could just say drink a Gatorade, drink a water at any point. And those are the cheap ones too. Like you have
Yeah.
to pay more for the booze.
Of the DK crew. This gong so strong.
You do have a unique background, and like you've probably already drank a bunch of disgusting shit in your past. So like there's really like I'm disgusted by the idea of mixing mayonnaise with whiskey, but like I know that that's not the first time that's happened. I've seen mayonnaise shots before, and I love mayonnaise, just not in my booze.
Yeah,
you know?
no.
I don't. Yeah, it's not where it belongs.
He's look funny. Can make a gremlin. Cry out for money.
And I'll tell you, kids, another thing, as two people in their 40s, I didn't have a real job until I was well into my 30s, and that's perfectly fine. I joined the army. I worked in print shops for a while. Like one of my very early jobs was working at a Kinko's. They're all now FedEx stores. Another thing taken from us. But it's you can really kind of just like be shiftless throughout your 20s, and then when you get to your 30s you'll be like, oh, this is what I feel I'm comfortable doing, this is where I want to be. Like I assume that like you feel better as a math teacher than you ever did doing any other nonsense.
Oh yeah. I was
Same with me and my email job.
Yeah, I was 25 when I went back to college full time, stayed there, like absolutely needed to get all of that out of my head and, focus on, crazy ideas. When I met with my first therapist, like, what do you want to do? It's like, I'd like to be able to go to school and stay there. I'd like to be able to go to my job every day. It's like, all right, those are very attainable goals.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
very, very simple.
Yeah.
Very simple things to get to.
Now pick up a folder with relative ease.
Look at that. We're so in sync.
Yes, we got this. Well, Francis has seen himself out. If you want more Francis, and I think you should, hell of a way to dad. There's a store you can buy stuff in. I have many things from the store. I didn't put them here. I felt them were a little too weird. But I like the stuff. We got them upstairs. We definitely have a rock or something magnet. I'm pretty sure I got a Attack of the Throne. Attacking the Throne God. I got a bunch of those old ones.
Oh God, yeah, that was an old Tucker Carlson thing. That was been a while since I've had that. But yeah, I got a lot of good stuff. It's just me running the store, but Nate is my co-host. Nate and I both veterans, but now both dads. So we talk dad stuff, we talk a little military stuff, but we're two people that bounce a lot of things off of each other. So we got a lot going on over there. What a hell of a way to dad. You should listen.
You should listen. I listen. We can listen.
Yeah. That should be it. I'll donate donation of $10. You have to listen to an entire episode of my podcast.
I mean,
But you have to listen to it at 2x speed.
Can I listen to the Fight
Is that
Club
the pounding
one?
of it?
Can I do Fight Club again? I think that'd be the best one.
Yeah. You should stair step to Fight Club, and every time I don't know how we're gonna do a drinking game with Fight Club. I'm sure it already exists because that's a movie to get drunk to.
Rock seems such a breeze. He may move